I'm gonna be completely genuine with you guys. I haven't been wanting to film because I don't feel the prettiest. I feel like my mentality tells me I need to lose weight first. I need to be the prettiest first. God has been talking to me a lot, and he's been telling me to do it messy, do it how I am right now, because he's gonna transform me throughout time. And I believe him, you know. I believe him because he showed me a glimpse of it. He showed me a glimpse of how beautiful life would be if I fully gave my full devotion, my full, just my everything to him. If I woke up feeling like, you know, like if I just gave him everything. He showed it to me because I did it. I was consistent with it for like a good like month, and it was beautiful, you guys. It was the most beautiful thing I ever got to experience. So briefly, I'll tell you guys, I'm 32 years old. I'm the middle sister of 3. I have an older brother and a younger sister, and I would say I'm the ugly sheep. I'm the black sheep. I'm the person that nobody really wants to be around, you know. Like growing up, I want to say I was very outcasted, even though I wasn't. I generally was very confident with myself, and I was very out there, you know. Like I had friends, I didn't struggle with friends, but it's just at home they treated me like a black sheep. I live with both my grandma in Mexico and also here in the US, so I'm very fluent, and I got to live that like Mexican life with like going to school in Mexico and everything, you know. O sea, no seas naco, güey. So yeah, I got to live that life, and I also got to live the life here in the US, you know. Unfortunately, I was sent a lot to Mexico growing up. I didn't just get to stay here, even though it was something I wanted to do. At the same time, like I said, like I feel like everything that I went through, even though it was hard at the time, I feel like I'm grateful for it because it's what made me, you know. It's what made me. It's the reason why I'm me. It's the reason why my heart is so like pure, and it didn't break me. You know how they say, like, if it doesn't break you, it makes you stronger. I became stronger. I didn't let it break me, and I went through a lot, you guys, you know. I was in the system. I was in the system twice. Once when I was 12 for physical abuse. My mom would beat the shit out of me with anything, you know. There's a plane that's gonna pass by. It started with like the chancla or your hand, you know. And then I feel like eventually, like, I became so immune to it that she saw it wasn't affecting me no more. So she, instead of like stopping and trying to like go a different route, she started going with more harsher things, you know. And point being, I ended up being in the system when I was 12 for physical abuse. And then I was also in the system when I was 16, I believe. And that was more for attempted murder. So, yeah. I've had a very crazy life. I definitely could have gone a total different route, which is something that I've always kind of like, now that I'm older and more wiser, I've come to realize like God helps out not only the good people but also the people that really need him, you know what I mean? Like I feel like I could have gone a very wrong route if it wasn't for him. Let me kind of like introduce, well, I already introduced myself. Let me kind of like, I guess, explain like my life and some certain things I've gone through. Of course, along the way, I won't talk like fully deeply about everything. I'm pretty sure I'll miss out on a few things, but this is just kind of like key points, okay? So I was born in LA. I stayed there for 2 years. My mom, she sold antojitos. Like she was one of those ladies that sold like I don't know what she would sell. I want to say she sold fruta, which is fruit. You know, like in LA, you know, those Mexican people that sell like out on the street. Well, my mom was like that. And we ended up moving to Mexico. I remember doing preschool there because in preschool, I remember my grandma dropping me off, and I remember there was a fence and I didn't want her to leave, but she kind of like sneakily like left me. So she went and she took me, and then randomly I see her crossing the street, like, and I'm like, what the heck? I'm like, no. So I start crying, and like the principal or the teacher or somebody ended up like trying to grab me to like take me with them or whatever, to be like, come on, like, you know. I ended up biting her. I bit her and I wouldn't let go of her. And so I want to say I wasn't even able to do preschool there because I got kicked out. They didn't think that it was okay for me to be there. So yeah, in Mexico I was really close to my grandma and my grandpa. I was also close to my aunt as well. My aunt was always around, but I just remember mostly like being around like my, well, yeah, no, honestly it was us three. It was my grandma, my grandpa, myself, and my aunt. And I had a really close relationship with my grandpa and my grandma. They were the ones that I feel like I was the closest to. My aunt was more of the disciplinary kind, so I didn't really like her as much. I mean, don't get me wrong, I love my aunt and everything, but it's just like, you know, you're a kid, you don't really want to be in trouble all the time or be told that like you're doing something wrong. So she was in my my favorite, but she was definitely somebody that I definitely value. Growing up, ever since I was little, I was the one that would go to church with my grandma and my grandpa. She would make us actually pray too. We were more raised Catholic, so she made us pray. She made us pray whenever we would be at church. You know, Catholic churches, they ask for you to pray, get on your knees and pray. And so I remember she would force us to do it. And at the time I was like, I never understood why. I kind of saw it as like, oh, it's boring, you know, like I didn't get it. I didn't understand it. But I feel like now that I've gotten older, I'm very grateful, because if she wouldn't have planted the seed, I would have never gotten to where I'm at today. Middle school, I was kind of a troubled kid. I've always kind of been a troubled kid. I think when my sexual, like, because I got sexually assaulted by like one of my family members, and it started very young. I think I want to say it started when I was like in 5th or 4th grade. But I feel like that's when I changed. I feel like I no longer wanted to be a schoolgirl. I wanted to get out and get away and go play with friends. I wanted distraction. That's what I wanted, you know. And I feel like I found it in the people that also were doing the same thing as me. You know, we were getting distracted from our stuff that was going on at home. And this is something that I feel like now that I'm older, I'm very grateful for them, and I pray over them, and I really hope that they're able to overcome the stuff that they had gone through, or that they're still going through. Because I feel like a lot of people tend to judge people for doing wrong, and a lot of people tend to like point them out as bad people, but I feel like we're all just people that need help, guidance, somebody to be there for them, someone that can tell them, you know what, it's okay for you to feel how you feel. It's gonna get better though. Don't drown in your sorrows. You're gonna get better. It's gonna get better. Just don't give up, you know. So yeah, 6th, 7th, 8th, I kind of, well, 6th and 7th, I wouldn't say 6th and 7th, I kind of like had these two best friends. And we used to ditch school. We used to go to our local CVS and go steal nails, go steal makeup. I've always been a very girly girl, and so I always, that was the thing I would steal. I would steal makeup, I would steal nails, nail polish, like, you know, like, unfortunately growing up I had my mom and everything, but she wasn't really the type that wanted to kind of be like girlfriends like that, you know what I mean? Like she wasn't looking out for me in a girly way. I feel like, if I'm being honest, she was always very jealous. But now that I'm older, I understand why. But at the time, like, I used to always like question, like, why, like, you know, I used to hate myself because I was like, what am I doing? I remember wanting to make her feel like like accepted. And it was okay, mom, and forgiving her all the time for everything that she would do, because I really wanted to have that friendship with her. I wanted that mom that everybody else paints, you know, that mom that's always gonna be there for your kid, the one that, like, if you're going through something, you can be like, you know, like you can cry to them, like they're gonna give you good advice, stuff like that. But instead I got somebody totally opposite. I had a mom that was very jealous, very like hateful, and it wasn't fun, you guys. It was something very, like, it sucked, honestly. It made me feel very alone. And not only that, it made me feel really ugly, because at the end of the day, like, this is somebody I honestly, I looked up to her. I thought she was beautiful. I remember telling her that she looked like Britney Spears, and that I thought she was the most beautiful girl ever. Honestly, like, I remember complimenting her. And so, you know, like I don't know, it sucks. I get people have demons in them, and like the bad stuff has happened to them, and it's changed them. But like, when it comes to your kids, like, you should love them unconditionally. You should, like, give them that love that you never got, you know what I mean? Like I guess she suffered a lot, but I have suffered so much, guys. And I don't see myself ever treating my boy like that. I don't ever see myself putting him down, or making him feel ugly, or making him feel like he's not a man, you know what I mean? Like, I can't see myself doing what she did. So yeah, point being, I just started misbehaving when I was in 7th grade. She didn't want me hanging around with that group of friends, because I was like ditching school all the time. And so that's kind of where I want to say, like, we started arguing more. And then not only that, but I started fighting in school. You know, I started being a little bit more aggressive in school, instead of like talking about my feelings, or like just not paying attention to what people were doing. Like, I fed them, and I became a bully. I became well, I wasn't necessarily a bully. I've never been a bully where I just randomly pick at people just cuz. Like, I'm a defender. That's the thing. Like, if you did something to me, or you did something to my friends, because at the end of the day, I'm a ride or die. If you did something to me, or you did something to my friends, then I'm gonna speak up, and I'm gonna say something, or, you know what, fight me, bitch. And so yeah, it was horrible. Came 8th grade, and my school was there was a new school that was created, and that new school, I belonged to it. And those girls that were my best friends ended up moving to that school. Well, one of them did. The one that I was closest to ended up going to it. And I remember my first day of school, I actually didn't have any classes with her. I didn't really see her or hang out with her at all during break. It was after school that I actually ran into her, and I saw her, and we started talking. Well, when we started talking, my mom pulled up. She saw us talking, and that did it. I got removed from that school that very first day, and I ended up having to go to a whole different school. And that school was so bad, you guys. I hated that school. It was full of a bunch of people that wouldn't even talk to you, wouldn't even give you a chance. Like, these people just, it sucked, dude. I remember crying in the cafeteria. I didn't even know where to, like, go. I hated it, you guys. And I was there for, like, I want to say a good, like, week or two. And eventually I convinced my mom to change me schools. I ended up changing to a whole different school. That school was full of white people. Like, literally, it was all full of white people. And there was a group of Mexicans, and some of them, I actually, one of the girls I remembered from, well, a couple girls, I think. I remember seeing them at my old school before I moved to, before I even moved, like from 6th and 7th grade. I remember seeing them. They were the only Mexicans in the school. So I ended up building a bond with them. And unfortunately, a lot of them were going down the wrong path. A lot of them were hanging out with the wrong crews. And there I go, being a follower, because I wanted to be loved. I wanted to be liked. I wanted to be seen. Nobody at home was seeing me, so please see me, you know. tell me it's gonna be okay, tell me that I'm gonna be okay. And so these people, they liked me, you know, they were funny. It was a good group. Like, they were girly, they liked girly stuff. We would talk about boys. Like, it was just like the people I would hang out with. But yeah, they started going down the wrong path, and there I go too, you know. And the thing is, like, I'm a big bitch. Like, I've always been kind of a bigger bitch, you know. I've never been like petite or anything like that. And so you see somebody petite trying to be gangster, it's like, oh, how cute, you know. Like, no, she's not gangster, it's not for her. But you see a big old bitch trying to be gangster, and it's like, dang, that bitch is gangster, you know what I mean? And so even though it wasn't something that I was gonna take serious, it ended up being serious. It was literally 1 year, and not even the whole year. It was maybe like half a year of pretending to be gangster, and it haunted me forever, guys. Gave me trauma, gave me so much shit. So much shit, you guys. I was getting hit a lot by my mom, and the thing is, like, it started with like little smacks, then it started going to like shoes, then belts, then cords, then anything possible, you know. And I remember this one time she beat me up. I used to have this clear jelly belt, I'll insert it here if you know, and she beat me up with it. She beat me up really bad that one time, and a lot of like me covering was like me going like this, you know. And she ended up exploding like my vein. She exploded my vein, and then all throughout here you could see the little circles of the belt. And I remember that day at school, I didn't do good. I didn't give a fuck about school, to be honest, you guys. I didn't care about doing good. To me, I had already lost that interest of doing good in school. And so I end up, she ends up beating me up that day, right? And I end up with those bruises. I get in trouble at school, and I'm gonna get suspended. I think I fought or something happened, right? I was gonna get suspended, or misbehaving, I don't know, I don't remember. But point being, I was gonna get suspended. I remember being so afraid, you guys, because I already knew, Princess, I already knew where this was gonna go. Hold on. Yeah, come on. I'm telling you guys. But you know what, God said do it messy, so here I am. They end up calling the cops on my mom. They call the cops on my mom. They take me away, and they arrest my mom. I believe they arrested her. I don't really remember what happened to her, because after that happened, I wasn't allowed to be home anymore. I went into a group home. I remember the lady asked me, does your mom let you go out? And I was like, yeah, of course, you know, I'm gonna lie to her, tell her that, yeah. So I was like, yeah. And she's like, okay. And I never ate there, guys. Never ate one meal. Never ate one meal. I would steal my meals from stores. I wouldn't be there at all. And I remember the first day that I was at that group home, I stayed up all the way, like, really late. I was with my friend, but eventually, you know, at that age, people have parents that tell them, you know what, it's time to go to bed, it's time for you guys to just stop, you know. I didn't have anybody to tell me that. And so it came that time when my friends had to go home already, or they had to like go inside, and I had to go back home, and I didn't know how to find my way home, you guys. I got lost. I didn't know how to get there, and I was just a lost girl. Like, it was already like, it was past midnight for sure, like, if not like around midnight to past midnight, because it was already late. Nobody was out. Stores usually around the place where I was at closed like at 11, so nobody was there, you know. Like, it was for sure past midnight. But yeah, I remember being scared, but I've always been, like I told you guys, I've always kind of been down for my shit. Like, I'm tough, you know. Like, I might be like scared, but I'll still like fight you, you know what I mean? And so I had a little pocket knife that I had gotten from my stepdad, and it had like a little screw. I'll post it here. And I had it inside my shoe, or I had it, I don't know, I had it in my pocket or somewhere, right? And I remember this truck pulling up, and it was so scary, you guys. It was so freaking scary. Like, it was the scariest thing ever. I remember it was this Mexican guy. Princess, excuse me, I'm telling a story here. It was this Mexican guy, and he looked scary, you know. Like, you can tell when a person isn't like really up to good, and he looked scary. He looked at me, and I tried to like be a tough bitch and give him a dirty look and be like, what? And I took out my little pocket knife and I was like, what? You know, like trying to be like, hey, like I got protection on me, like, you know, like be careful with what you're doing. Dude, he gave zero fucks, like zero fucks. Like he was starting to get out of his truck to go towards me, and guess what? This is what like always has made me feel like God is there. Okay, what happens? A random Domino's car pulls up. A random Domino's car pulls up at the time when he's about to get out. Oh my God, God is so beautiful. I think God sent him. I genuinely feel like God sent him. And I ran to him. I felt safe. I automatically felt safe. Didn't question it. Wasn't embarrassed. Wasn't like, I didn't question it. I ran to him. As soon as he parked, I ran to him and I told him, hey, this guy like looks like he's trying to hurt me. Like I need help to get home. And he's like, where do you live? I'm like, I don't know. Like all I knew is that I live behind Target. That's all I knew. Because that group home it was the first day I had gone. Like I didn't know, you get me? Like I didn't know like how to get there. And so yeah, point being, God was there for me that day, that night. God, he protected me. And you know, like little stories like that, which I'll tell you, like this is what I'm saying, like I probably won't go in depth today on like everything, but little things like that, he's always kind of been there for me. Like even like now that I'm older, like everything bad that happened, like honestly something good came out of it. Like a really good outcome came out of it. My key thing that I want to do with my videos is show you guys how you don't have to be perfect. You don't have to be perfect to be close to God. You don't have to be perfect for God to love you. You don't have to be perfect for God to bless you. You don't have to be perfect to be chosen. You don't have to be perfect to like have everything that you want through God. Like you generally don't. I feel like this world has like shaped us to believe that we need to be reading the Bible every day and that we need to be going to church every weekend or every week, you know. Like I feel like it's something that the world is telling us to do, but I feel like it's all in action. It's all in action. It's all about how you treat others, how you treat yourself as well, and also having that alone time with God. Like it doesn't need to be in a church, it doesn't need to be while you're reading the Bible. It has to be alone, without phones, without TV, without any type of distraction, just you and him. I feel like whenever it's just me and him, I feel the closest to him, you know. Like I feel like it's when he heals me, it's when he helps me. And I've gone through a lot, you guys, growing up, and even now that I'm older, like until recently, you know, until I finally learned to love myself and put myself first before anybody else. Like I had gone through a lot. I had been stepped over, and like I had been treated like shit. And like, you know, it's funny because now that like I'm loving myself more, I'm respecting myself, the people that I was around and that I'm still around, like they have a hard time accepting that. They're still stuck in the place where I met them at, which is something that I feel like I really wanted to talk about. You know, like growing up, I feel like it was always the troubled kids. It was always the outcasts, you know, like that were always there to help me out, to give me a helping hand, because they're the ones that's struggling. They're the ones that are struggling just like me. They're the ones trying to escape their reality, their life. And so we kind of like help each other out, honestly. And we're so quick to like give a hand, but and they just, it's almost like love bombing kind of, you know. Like they're so quick to be like, hey, let's be friends, hey, I'll be there for you. But as soon as you finally start growing, as soon as you finally realize, hey, let's do better for ourselves, they start feeling like you think that you're better than them. And that's not true. It's just finally you realize you deserve more, you know. And I want the same for them, you know. Like I'm not the type that's selfish, because a lot of people are like that, especially in social media, and especially a lot of Christians. And I've been watching a lot of stuff, you know, online. A lot of people have like discernment, and they're able to see the right and the wrong, but instead of like trying to help out the world, they use it for their beneficial. They do it in a more selfish way. And I don't want to be like that. I don't want to be like that. And I feel like that's what kind of is gonna set me apart, is that I'm gonna take you guys along with my journey, and I want you guys to also do it too, you know, because just how I can change. I was the worst, guys. I was giving my body out for free. I was like in gangs. I was headed down the wrong path. All these things, like you can change too. It can change. What? Who is there to tell you that you can't change? Sometimes, yeah, sometimes you'll have to relocate, and this is something that I ended up doing. I ended up moving like 4 hours away, removing my mom and removing everybody that was toxic around my life, and unfortunately some of them still stayed with me. But this is where you start to learn to love yourself, and if they can't accept that and respect that you're loving yourself, then you gotta remove them out of your life too, you know. But I feel like I barely started getting discernment, and I feel like I'm barely like learning. So maybe along the way I will drop them, but like I said, I want to be different. I want to help them out. I want to show them love the way that I wasn't loved, even at their worst, you know, because a lot of the times we need love when we're at our worst. We don't need to be told, hey, you should change this, hey, you should change that, hey, I don't like that you did this or like that, you know. Sometimes it's simple, like, hey, I see you, are you okay? Like, you know, I love you, like, I don't want nothing, like you good? I want the best for you. And then go and tell them, I don't like that this is happening, what's going on. That is more likely to change someone's life than just being like, hey, why are you doing this, why are you doing that, hey, I got discernment now, I see what you're doing. Like, no, that's not gonna get us anywhere. That's not gonna solve the world. Which is another thing that I like questioned, you know. I was like, are the chosen ones, or like people that are more not chosen, I wouldn't say chosen, but are people who are closer to God only meant to stay around people who are close to God? Because that doesn't seem right. That does not seem right. That doesn't seem like the right thing to do. Yeah, surround yourself with good people, because it gives you kind of that clarity. It reminds you of like, hey, let's get back to where we were, you know, like, don't get lost with all this negativity that's going on in this world. But I feel like we're meant to help the people that can't get out of it. You know what I mean? Like, we're meant to kind of give them guidance and show them that it's gonna be okay. So, you know, like, something that I wrote down here is, smile at the most bitter looking grumpy person, at the one who stares you down. Compliment them, you know, smile at them, because honestly that can change them. Because honestly, they're bitter, their life is going miserable, they're not happy with where they're at, and a simple smile is like telling someone it's gonna be okay. You know, a lot of people tend to avoid those type of people because it's such negativity. You don't want to be around that. Don't surround yourself with that. Don't live with that, you know. But pray for them and give them a smile, give them a little bit of happiness. Let them know, you know what, there's still happiness out there. Go find it. That's something that I've came to realize too. A lot of like Christianity and Catholicism, Catholicism, I don't know, being Catholic, okay, it's full of a lot of hypocrites. It's full of a lot of selfish people, and like I told you, it's full of people that have the knowledge and know like how to get close to God, but they're selfish with it. They don't want to love people at their worst. They only want to love them when it's convenient. They want to look down on you, and instead of telling you and giving you that hope of like it's gonna be okay, they judge you, you know. And I'm not saying everybody's like that, because that's not true. Not everybody's like that. Like, it's like I told you, you know, like my grandma planted the seed. She had her defects. Some people have defects, you know, and that's okay. But I would hate for you to be steered the wrong way just because you met somebody that wasn't in the right mindset. Like, for example, I'm gonna give this example. A few years back, my brother-in-law was trying to get close to God, and you know, he's gay, so it's something that's not really accepted in churches. And we were trying to look for it. We were trying to look for the right church for us, you know. Like, at the time I didn't know either if I was Catholic, Christian. We didn't know what we were, and it sucks. because we looked through every church, and every church says that they didn't accept gay people. And so he stirred away. He didn't try to get close no more. He backed off. He doesn't believe in God. He believes in science. Like, he believes in like psychology, I guess you could say. But I don't know. I mean, I think throughout the years, I think maybe he's like, I haven't talked to him really deeply about it, but I hope that he's able to give God another chance. And sometimes when you feel not accepted in your church, or you don't feel accepted in the community, keep it to yourself. Keep you and God's relationship to yourself. If the community is not helping you make you feel better or anything like that, then you know what, remove the community. Be on your alone time with God. You don't have to go to church. You don't have to get the Bible either. Like, don't get me wrong, the Bible's a good guidance. That's something that I have learned. The Bible is going to guide you. It's going to guide you, and it's kind of like the rules. You know what I mean? Like, you know how like at school we're told, okay, this is how we're supposed to do things, and this is how we're going to do it. Well, the Bible tells you like how to live by God. So it helps you. It's good guidance. But it's not, you don't need to just read your Bible. Reading your Bible sometimes like can cause a lot of confusion, and if you think you're just reading, at the end of the day, when you finish reading, if you're confused, you're not gonna soak anything up. It's just gonna be you're reading stuff that you don't even understand. So that's why I say it's very important for you to have alone time with him. Just be alone. You could be in your room, it could be in the bathroom while you're showering, you know, it could be like anywhere. Have alone time with him. Talk to him. And trust me, like you might not hear him talk to you at the beginning, but it's the fact that you're going to him. You know, you stay consistent, and eventually you're just gonna hear him. Eventually he's gonna talk back, because you can't expect, it's like being in a relationship, right? You can't expect one person, like this person that you're with, get you like let's say you meet them, right, and they get you a set of flowers, and that one time that they say that they gave you the flowers, automatically you're like, well, I mean, probably, I'm just setting a horrible example. Point being, you gotta stay consistent. Don't think that just because you tried once that's it, you're automatically gonna get all your prayers answered. And another thing too, be very careful about what you pray for, because when you ask God for strength, he's gonna give you stuff that's gonna test your strength, because it's gonna grow your strength. Don't think that it's just gonna be like, God, I ask you for strength and then here you go. Like, no, you're gonna be tested. You ask for peace, you're gonna be tested with chaos. You know, you ask for love, you're gonna be tested with hate. Like, it's the way it is. And then that's what I'm saying, like, be careful about what you choose, what you pray for, and also be grateful for what you do have, because a lot of times God removes it when you are ungrateful. A lot of times God will kind of like cause a little earthquake, I guess, in your life to remind you to be grateful, you know, to be grateful, and to not forget that he's there, you know, and that he's there for you, and that all these things are because of him. So if you find yourself today hating life, be grateful, because at the end of the day, he's showing you something, you know, he's teaching you something. You just got to really clearly look into it and see what he's trying to teach you, because everything happens for a reason, the good, the bad, everything. So yeah, you guys, what else? When you start healing, things get worse, because you used to conform, now you can't, so everything's bad. This is kind of where I'm at right now. It sucks, because I feel very alone. I feel alone, and I feel like everything I do is bad in other people's eyes, you know, like I'm a villain right now in other people's eyes, because I have discernment. I'm able to tell you now. Like, back then I used to not be able to speak up for myself because I didn't realize that it's like when you're physically abused for so long and mentally abused for so long, you learn to escape. So you learn to be in your head a lot, you learn to overthink and just kind of live inside your brain, not necessarily outside. And I feel like that's what I was doing. I was living in my brain. And so people were doing these things, but I didn't have the courage. I didn't really want to, like, I let them. I genuinely just let them, you know. And I knew it was wrong, and I would see them do it wrong, but I was hoping that they would love me enough to stop, that they would love me enough to realize, you know what, she's a good person. Look at her. She's still, even though all this shit that I'm putting her through, like, she still loves me. Like, she still shows me loyalty. Like, she still shows me like she's there for me. But this world takes, and a lot of people are gonna take from you, and a lot of people were taking from me. And so the moment that I grew a little bit of clarity, and God was able to open up my eyes, I was able to finally be like, no, I deserve more, you know. I'm valuable. I'm a very valuable, and if anything, I'm more valuable than I thought that anybody could be. Like, I'm not saying I'm the greatest person out there, but my heart sets me apart, you know. And I need to realize that, like, I'm beautiful. Even when I'm my worst, I'm still beautiful, you know. And so that's something I'm learning today. And so I tend to speak up now when I feel wronged, you know, when I feel like something's wrong, or you know, like, even just show myself more love. It be by, like, the way I, like, talk, the way that I move. Sometimes, like, when I'm feeling a song, instead of feeling like embarrassed to, like, to sing it, because I used to be embarrassed, I used to be so insecure, you know. Instead of feeling like that, I sing it out loud, and I'm happy, and I hum, and I'm like, you know, you know, I feel myself. And now the people that that have seen me at my worst, they think it's bad. They think I'm trying to trigger them. They think that I'm just a bad person, just trying to hurt them, or I just have bad intentions. And that's not true. That's far from true. Like, I'm just learning to love myself. And this is why I'm saying, like, I'm not ready to be married. I'm not ready to be in a marriage, because in my own relationship, like, I'm barely learning to be myself. Imagine if I would have married this man. I would have been stuck with this man for the rest of my life. And this is why I feel like it's very important for you to date prior to getting married. Even live together, honestly. Solve really hard problems together first before anything, because you never know who you're with. You never know their moralities. You never know how they solve things. I feel like, personally, it's like I tell him, and we're still together, you know. I love him. I was saying, like, we're still together, and I love him, and I'm gonna have his back, and I'm gonna continue having his back, you know. But something that I realized is it's triggering him. It triggers him now that I, like, love myself. It triggers him in different ways. It triggers him because he feels like I think I'm better than him. It triggers him because he knows I can find better, and so it made him more insecure. And the thing is, like, it's like I told you guys. There's a plane passing by again. It's like I told you guys, I don't want to keep this to myself. I don't want to grow just myself. I want to grow with him, you know. And but the thing is, like, and this is where I'm kind of stuck at, and this is where I want to bring you guys. I don't think he wants to grow. A part of me thinks he does, because I see it, you know. Lately he's been grabbing his Bible, and he's been reading, and I like it, you know. But it goes back to what I said, like, you know, being close to God isn't about reading your Bible, going to church. Or going to church. It's doing the work, the hard work. It's shutting your mouth when you want to speak up and talk a bunch of shit. You get me? It's accepting people for changing, and not being scared that they're not going to choose you. That's something that I was always afraid of, you know, that, like, I got cheated on a lot with a particular person, which I'll talk to you guys later on if you guys want about it. I have emails too, and pictures too. I started being fake with him, and I think he saw right through it, because he saw that I was intimidated. And instead of you know, like, being there, because again, like, I didn't love myself, I was just an insecure girl, he used it against me. He manipulated me, and made me feel like, if you don't get better, I'm gonna go with her, you know. And so yeah, so I feel like now that I'm finally waking up and realizing my worth, I feel like it's intimidating him. I'm no longer kissing his ass. I'm no longer chasing after him. I'm no longer I'm no longer being that sad little puppy behind him, being scared to like be alone. And so that's where we're at, you know. I don't know if he's gonna grow with me. I don't know if we're gonna end up apart. I do know though that I will love him forever, and that I will always wish that it would have been him, even if it's not him, you know. That I wish he would have just gotten his shit together. I wish he, you know, but we can't say this, because at the end of the day, this is the man I still want to marry. This is the man that I want to be with, you know. I'm choosing to be with him, and it is what it is, you know. But it gets me kind of emotional, because I just see everything now, you know what I mean? I see how wrong he had done me, but I can't just see the bad, because at the end of the day, like, he wasn't just bad, you know. Like, he was good too. Like, he was a gentleman sometimes, you know. But see, I just feel confused, you know, because he's a gentleman. He'll open the door for you, he'll think about you, and like, he will like make my favorite meals and put my favorite stuff in it without having to ask me. He'll do things before I even tell him to do it, you know. He's accepted my animals and like loved them as his own, even though he's not really like an animal person, you know. He is doing everything in his power to be the best dad for my son, for our son, you know. Like, he's getting closer to God, you know. And a part of me feels like I need to give him a chance, you know what I mean? Like I'm not gonna lie, I'm not gonna sit here and play like the innocent, because I wasn't innocent throughout our whole relationship, you know. And not only that, but like, I tended to be like that, like, chase me, you know what I mean? Like that chase me type of girl, where it's like, oh, show me you love me, you know. Like, I'm not gonna show you or give you anything, you show me. And he fed it, he comforted me, he made me feel like a baddie even when I was a fatty. Even now that I'm a fatty, he still makes me feel like a baddie, you know. But a part of me feels like he deserves the best side of me. And what if, like, because another note that I had wrote here was, accept the version they are today. Acceptance opens the door for change. It will no longer be an attack when the other person feels accepted. They know you want the best. I feel like because it's such a huge change in such a small, like, amount of time, he doesn't know. Like, you get me? Like, men are kind of dumb. It's hard to say, but men are dumb, you know. So I don't think he knows what's going on, and so he sees it as like, oh, I'm just wanting to feel like I'm better, and like I want to just go with another guy and this and that, you know. They want to go home already. Ya mero, mami, ya mero. I know, but we're not going home yet. We're almost done, okay? You know, he accepted me at my worst, so I think I'm gonna give him a chance, you know, like, but with the right things. Like, I'm gonna respect myself, I'm gonna feed the good side of him. So instead of feeding the angry side and feeding all that bad stuff that he does, I'm gonna feed the good stuff. I'm gonna, like, whenever he loves me, I will give that love back. Whenever he, like, you know, whenever he does something good, I will give it back. And if at the end of the day it doesn't work out, then it doesn't work out. But I can't go based off of like past stuff that he's done, because I'm not a saint either. Imagine if like people went past it, like based on the past stuff that you did. Like, that would suck, because you would just be painted bad, you know. And so I believe in second chances, and I feel like a second chance is truly made when you know you deserve better, and you know that you're ready. Like, this is generally gonna be his second chance, even though I've given him so many chances throughout life, throughout 13 years of being together. This is generally his second chance, you know what I mean? So I'm allowing him to get his shit together, change with me, you know. Like, we're gonna fight, we're gonna argue, we're gonna go through so many things, but we'll see. Because I see some of the things, you know, I see some of the things that I wanted a man. I love the fact that he's my innocent one. He's only been in a relationship with like maybe 2 girls. I don't remember. I can't think right now. But you get me? Like, he's my innocent one. I'm the slut. He's a very sensitive person, you know, and this whole time I've been going at it like if he's like me. Remember, I told you guys I'm a tough bitch. I speak up. I stand up for my shit, you know. And so I've been talking to him like that, like a fucking bitch. You get me? Like, why are you doing this? Why are you treating me like that? Like, because I got to, like, you know, because I got to see how it was. Like, instead of speaking to him in his language, which is more sensitivity, you know, more understanding, I've been speaking to him like that. And so that's what I'm gonna try. I will try to be more sensitive with him, because not everybody's the same. Some people are more sensitive, and it sometimes it baffles me how sensitive he is, you know, because it's just like, you cannot, like, how are you so sensitive? But you can't. Like, at the end of the day, like I told you guys, he's my innocent one. Like, he's a baby. He's my baby, you know. But it, just because he's my baby doesn't mean I get to disrespect myself. Doesn't mean that I accept less. Doesn't mean that I have to accept the cheating. That's not going to be accepted no more. I will love myself, respect myself, and value myself along the way. So yeah, you guys, that was a little glimpse of what my YouTube is going to be about. I'm a hot mess, you guys, but I'm just a human being. I'm not going to sugarcoat shit and pretend I'm this fucking YouTube aesthetic bitch, because I'm not. But yeah, you guys, that's me. I will see you guys in my next video. Bye, guys.